Hello, family, and welcome to Thriving Couples by the Dindies,
the place where we keep marriage real, fun, and fulfilling.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you on board today. Last week, we were looking at the 7 types of men
to avoid.
Because we were really talking to the single folks who are thinking about getting into this marriage space. And to keep the equity, egalitarian society.
we know.
So this day we're going to be talking about the 7 types of women to avoid. So brothers, hawa unatoroka kabisa when you see them. Yeah, so it's going to be an exciting show. Karibuni.
You will love it.
All right, here we go. So today we're talking about the 7 types of women to avoid. You know, I got into trouble.
Yeah. Phone calls have been made.
They said, no. How can you describe people like this? But I like being authentic, and so we'd like to help people. And so if you see yourself amongst these ones, change.
And if you're triggered, it means that maybe there's something you're refusing to acknowledge and address. Self-awareness, muhimu.
Muhimu sana. Yeah. So I know some people feel a bit uncomfortable about this, but I just wanted to mention from the get-go, the reason why we do this is to help people. And so if you find a few things that are triggering, ask yourself why. Why is it that you feel this way? And hopefully you can be helped. But because I'm thinking about my brothers, as I said, I mean, we've been married. This is our 19th year. I've had a blast. It's been fun. So I think it's only fair that I help the brothers to make the right choices out there. So the 7 types of women to avoid. Number 1. This one is called Vain Virginia. So
the name sounds nice. I like the alliteration.
Yeah. Just playing around with words, but I'll read what I wrote here. This is a lady who's obsessed with her looks. She spends more on her face than on her brain.
Sips tea.
Her pretty face is her retirement plan, her mortgage plan, and her employment policy document. She knows more about the Kardashians than the money market. She keeps up with the local celebs whose ambition in life is to outdo each other in being obnoxious. Mediocrity is her middle name. Shallow, her surname. She is on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Threads, FB. She posts 10 of her face pics at once.
10.
Yeah, the only place you won't find her is LinkedIn. She has, and this is an important line. As I was writing this, I was feeling, Nico, deeply inspired. She has Ferrari-level ambition with Mkokoteni level work ethic.
The contrast.
Toroka huyu. People who really want all the best in life, but they want it with minimal effort.
Wale wase wa soft life.
Yeah, these are ladies who believe her pretty face is her pass into anything that she wants in life. She thinks that the only thing she brings on table is a pretty face, and that is good enough.
And a damn brain. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we like to call this vain Virginia. But what I was really meaning by all this, sometimes we go to hyperbole to pass across
just to pass
point.
The message.
Yeah. And it's good for people to know. Us guys love humor. We like wordplay, and this is part of it.
And really, people get the message, and you are a little dramatic about it.
Yeah, a little drama, a little satire, just to pass across the message that for the gentlemen, if a lady is just obsessed with surface matter, so she's just, all you see is all you get. There's nothing
there should
beyond
be more.
that.
There should be more.
Yeah. So that's what I was meaning. But
I get you. And I think what you're saying to us ladies, especially if you're aspiring to get married and you want the guys to be seeing the right thing, take care of your looks. That's very important. By the way, that's how you catch their attention. But most importantly, take care of your spirit, take care of your brain, have a gentle, quiet spirit, and please grow your brains, because that's where you're going to have the intellectual intercourse. You can have nice conversations and really be able to connect. Looks alone cannot sustain a relationship.
Yeah, and I think also long term, even for us men, many times as people grow older,
You will change.
the Bible says beauty fades. So all these things will come and go, but there's an inner connection that people can have because of the beauty of your heart, the depth of your brain, just the kind of vibe that you bring along, that gentleness, that encouraging spirit. There's a way you make someone feel. Those are the things that keep people in a long-term relationship.
And so, like, even people who might not, they don't need to be drop dead gorgeous to have a thriving, exciting relationship. It's about the feeling, the experience you give to each other that's really going to carry you on for a long time. So it's most important to work on those long-term, those deeper qualities that are really going to connect you without neglecting the others. Okay.
Exactly. So that was the first one. So gentlemen, if she is just skin deep, disappear very fast. Okay. Number 2.
Umesema waende mpaka kwa bone marrow and
yeah, there has to be content that is beyond just skin deep. So number 2, and this I wrote, someone called Chatterbox Charity. This is a lady who cannot keep quiet. Her mouth is busier than her brain. She talks long before the thoughts journey across her gray matter. So again, maybe you have to explain a little, because we like borrowing a bit from medical science to explain some of the points you have. Gray matter really refers to that part of our brains that has got the brain cells, the neurons, that really help us in thinking, processing things and all that. So just saying that these are people who talk before they think. It's another way of putting it. So she finishes your sentences. She has a congenital inability to listen without interrupting. And again, there are people who just can't wait. They always feel like there's this pressure to say something, pressure to speech. Like and essentially what someone is saying is, I think what I have to say is more important than what you have to say. And so you cannot even allow someone to process before you've come in and said something.
And the problem with that, like you said, you realize that your words are ahead of your thoughts. So you're likely to say things that you're going to regret. You're likely to say things that are hurtful. You're likely to be nagging because you don't even get to hear what the other person has to say. You don't, take time to process your thoughts before you speak. You can't even be speaking your mind when you've not thought, I come to think of it. You're just full of words. So it doesn't reflect very well on your intelligence. So it's just good to slow down, listen to people, get to understand them, allow them to complete their sentences before you respond. And that way you're going to really get to have deeper relationships with people. And especially when this is someone who is courting you, you'll enjoy it more when you get to have a back and forth. Yeah.
Exactly. So as we say, if someone cannot listen to you, they can never understand you. So run, Murife. Okay, the third
I'll just
one.
be sipping tea.
The third one, Sister Sylvia.
Hey, that one.
This
Ulituguza sana.
Okay. This is what I wrote. This is a lady who took her whole first salary to the prophet in quotes.
Mtumishi wa Mungu.
Yes. She doesn't do anything without consulting the man of God. She follows the prophet into every town he goes. She's always looking for a word. You wonder why she cannot hear God for herself. Why she honors the man of God more than the God of the man. So again, this I feel I need to explain.
Please.
Because there are people who can take it on a tangent.
So
us guys are Christian, and we value our relationship with God deeply, and we
Kabisa, first and foremost,
above everything else. And we think that it's really important to get into a relationship with someone who similarly honors and loves God, and that's important. But what I was talking about here, there are people who are more into the religiosity of the experience, and they've really run off a tangent. There are people who are now into cults and things like that. And you can always notice by an undue obsession
Yes.
with the man more than even God.
Sometimes the elevation of the man
Yes.
of God beyond God himself.
Yes.
And that's idolatry. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what we mean. So if you find somebody who everything must pass through this one person, it's like they don't have a direct relationship with God. Inapiga kona kwanza inapitia mse fulani. Those are people to avoid by all means.
And without getting preachy, it's just good to note that, when Christ went on the cross for us, then the doors were open. We have access to God.
Yes.
As much as there are men of God who are still channels that God uses to speak to us, we must check with God. God will always confirm to you. It's good to hear from God himself. Do not neglect your devotions. You're reading the word, you're praying for yourself, not just following the man of God.
Yep. We have direct access. That's so crucial.
Yes.
All right. Now, hii number 4 ndio iliniletea shida.
Iseme nile ya ai.
Yeah. People, there are many ladies who had a big problem with this one. It was very triggering for some reason. Okay, so number 4,
Kuna shida hapo.
I wrote about independent Irene.
I knew it.
This is a lady who has bought the feminist agenda hook, line, and sinker. She wants the ring on her finger, but not the accountability on her character. She wants marriage as long as she gets to keep her singles mindset. She wants the man to take up traditional roles of provision and protection, but she cannot accept any traditional role for her. She believes in living her truth, in quotes, regardless of whom she hurts. She low-key worships on the altar of self while drinking her green tea and taking care of her anemic chihuahua. I think
Hapo uligonga sana.
I think I was on the floor. She has space for a diamond on her finger, but has no space for you in her heart. I think this is a crucial one because there's a whole species of ladies out here who believe in this thing called independent woman. They believe they are self-made. They don't need anyone. And so literally, even if you're interested in them, there'll be no space
For you
in their lives. And these are dangerous people because people who don't have the humility to realize that you're not where you are on your own effort. You've been helped by people. You don't appreciate the role of people in growing you to whom you are. And when you now think independent and you want to be in a relationship, but you call the shots, you do everything the way you want, you don't know how to compromise. It is you, yourself, and you. Yeah, the people we said their blood group is me positive. Those kinds of people are people to avoid by all means, because if somebody is self-centered before marriage, when they get married, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Now they'll elevate it to self-worship. And you do not want to be in marriage with someone who occupies the whole house.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be no space for you because marriage really calls for interdependence and you're going to have to compromise from time to time. So you can't just have your way. Then that's not a marriage unless you want to be married to yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I meant. So watu wa kutupa mawe.
If you're triggered, then you have something to change.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you'll just be lonely, miserable. And let me leave it at that.
Yeah. But I think the other thing to note about this, for gentlemen, it's good to spend good time getting to know someone.
Yes.
Because sometimes watu wanaweza kuficha game. Somebody might be interested in you and so there's a part of them that they want to conceal. And once you get married, you suddenly discover, this is not whom I thought this person was. And so we encourage people to do dating in a strategic way, in an intentional manner. And so when you meet up and talk, there are certain important questions that you need to ask. As we said, it's good to know someone's favorite color, blah, blah, blah. But those are not life-changing issues.
Yes.
Instead, it's good to delve deeper into things that truly matter. What makes somebody tick? what is their worldview, what kind of upbringing did they have, what are the things that hurt them deeply, what are their deepest aspirations. Those things that now start to reveal, they open up the inner side of somebody to you. You start to understand the things that really make them move, the things that they want to do in life. And when you start to realize this person's values, ambitions, the things that drive them opposite of what really is very important to you, then
you're not compatible.
Yes.
You're not compatible.
Yeah. So it's important to ask those questions and listen very keenly. Because, as we like to say, the mouth will always reveal what the heart conceals. So if you listen carefully, you'll always get to know where somebody's heart is on these issues.
And the other thing is that also observe who their friends are, how their interactions are, and listen to other people who also have some input to give on this person that truly know them. Because, and then finally, I always insist it's very important to be extra keen when someone is annoyed or when you're having a conflict or disagreement, because that's when the claws tend to come out and you'll start seeing their true picture. Whatever is hidden outside, anger tends to bring it out. Yeah.
Sure. I remember that's one of the advices my dad gave me back then.
Lakini niliperform poa.
Ulipita na max ya juu. He said, ensure you see how someone behaves when they're angry. So
very important.
The next one that we wrote about, number 5, is bitter Beatrice. This is a lady who's been through a lot. Life has thrown 1,001 curveballs her way. Unfortunately, she has not healed from her trauma and now lives on the bitter highway. If you come into her life, you may pay the sins of strangers you never knew. She wears her pain like a badge of honor. Healing would take away her identity. Wholeness would take away her defenses. She has bonded with her pain and keeps getting partners that reinforce her trauma. She is of the club that says, all men are this, all men are that.
Generalizations.
Yeah, so she's not really allowed herself to heal from the pain cause. So these are ladies that truly have gone through pain.
Truly.
There's real pain there. They've been hurt deeply, but there has been no healing process. They've not allowed themselves to go through a healing journey. And so many of the things they do, they speak from a place of trauma. And the trouble with that, as we usually say, trauma will have you closing the door to your destiny. So a door you should be opening, trauma will be telling you close it.
Yeah.
Because you're yet to really sort the things that are deep inside. And so the problem of getting hitched up with somebody of this nature, everything that has happened to them, you'll be seen through that traumatic lens. So whatever you do, everything will be colored by the lens of trauma. And that bloody lens of trauma will make life very difficult for you.
And when these people don't heal, of course, we say that they bleed on people that did not cut them. And that means that as a gentleman hitching up with this lady, and it could be the converse as well, is that you're going to be suffering for sins you didn't create. They're going to be suspicious of you, of things you have not done, because they've had that experience in the past. And that's why it's good to have those conversations to know what one has been through. You could be through one of the channels through which you can help them get therapy, get healing. We are not saying that these people should be discarded, but if they're not on a path of healing, then they are really risky people to hitch up with. And you don't have to be their therapist. Send them to professionals. And if you still have the grace to carry on, that's fine. But it's good to know what you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah. And there are things you can tell if somebody is truly interested in healing.
Yes.
Because that is different. Because there are people who, as I mentioned, their pain is now their identity. So they feel if I get sorted of this problem, I don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
And so it's crucial to note, is this person truly interested in healing, or have they bonded with their pain to a level that now pain is their identity?
Yeah. And these are the people who love hosting pity parties, and you can always know them. They just like the people who really just cheer them on in their pain. They're not helping them to get healed. And you cannot change until you realize that there's a problem that needs to be sorted. So if you only have cheerleaders, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there.
She's the cheerleader of the Misery Association of Kenya.
Yes.
Avoid
pity parties.
Avoid kabisa. All right. The sixth one, I said Amorous Anne. And I wrote, this one needs no explanation. She's like a fruit tree planted by the fence.
Anyone can pick it on their way home or wherever.
Yeah. So, and if you notice, this is somebody's character, gentleman. Toroka haraka sana. He's not going to change. Yeah, I know. I know. There are also men who believe that there are rehabilitation centers for ladies with amorosity. Yeah, that whatever you'll be able to do will settle her in your home.
Wongo.
Yeah. Do not do not think more highly of yourself than
you ought to.
Yeah. So avoid your kabisa. That one I'll just rush through. It's
let's just leave it at that.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Then we'll move to the next one. The always right Albina. It's so sad because I have a friend called Albina, but
it's a rare name.
Yeah, this lady can never say sorry. She never makes a mistake. It's always your fault. Critical is a moniker.
Sister righteous.
Yes, nagging her modus operandi. She wins every argument, and she wins arguments by the volume of her voice, not the content of her talk. Pride is her companion. Sarcasm is her sidekick, and jest is her ride or die. Run, brother, run. So I think the thing I wanted to bring out with this particular one was there are people whose pride cannot allow them to introspect and say, I was wrong about this.
They can't say sorry.
Yes. I remember actually there's one couple that came to see us some time back. They were dating, they were planning to marry. And when the gentleman mentioned that this lady had never once said she's sorry, I told him, it's time to run.
Yeah, because it can't be that you've never been wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So someone who can never take responsibility for their actions, they can never say, I did this, and they're not willing to change. Those are people to avoid. The pride there is the issue.
Yeah,
it's the one being masked by all this. It's just a pride. That feeling.
They blame us. People just
it's your mistake. It is not mine. You are to change.
Yeah,
it's
always
not me. In their minds, they are perfect.
Yeah.
It's the other person that always has a problem. You don't want to end up with someone like that.
Very tricky. Yeah.
I want you to say something more about that one.
Okay, like you said, it's really an issue of pride, and these are people that are really hard to deal with, like on all fronts. Because remember, even when you're looking for someone as a potential spouse, they're also interacting with other people, and you will notice that even in the workplace, when something goes wrong, they're always apportioning blame to someone else. They're always seeing how someone else could have been at fault. When you point out something that is not okay with them, they're going to excuse and explain it around, and they're going to be mad. And sometimes they also have this attitude of what do you call it? Like they'll go cold on you. They don't want to talk to you. They're not great.
So of manipulation.
Yes,
as well.
They have that spirit of manipulation, and being around them is just miserable, And they'll want you to apologize for something you did not do wrong, even when clearly they were on the wrong. So pride is really a major problem, and I think I would say, just to wrap this particular issue, if someone is someone of faith, like you said, we are believers. If you notice you have this problem, just go before God and ask Him to help you, the Holy Spirit to help you to be humble. Because when you're humble, you start looking at yourself, having that self-awareness, and actually seeking to turn around and repent of your ways and be more sensitive to other people. And every time something goes wrong, even when the other person is seemingly outrightly on the wrong, look at it as, could I have had a role in this? And even as you listen to them, it could have been your tone of voice that was too aggressive, that still evoked a certain emotion, because a kind word really turns away anger. So it's good to just look at those things and see whether there's a role you could play to make things better. But pride is a big problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want a proud person in your corner. All right. So we're going to end it up right there. I think we've done justice. Last time you talked about the
been
gentlemen. I've talked about the ladies. So watu wasitupe mawe. Please listen. If you had not had last week's conversation, please ensure you do that so that all of this is in great context.
And if you're dating, you can actually listen on to both episodes and discuss. It could help you, start pointing out things and be able to rectify yourselves.
Absolutely. See you next time.
See you.